The faucet dripped like a ticking clock. Every few seconds, a droplet struck the stainless steel sink in a hollow, steady beat, the only rhythm left in Adam's life. Stacks of plates towered around him like walls. Greasy pans, lipstick-stained wine glasses, silver cutlery smudged with butter and bone. The steam from the dish sprayer blurred his face in the reflection, as if even the metal didn't want to remember him clearly. He worked in silence, always did. Words had weight, and he'd already used too many in a lifetime that gave nothing back. But tonight, a sound slipped through. A hum, barely louder than the hiss of water. It started low, almost unconscious, like muscle memory. A half-remembered melody curled around his throat, hummed out between stacks of dishes. Minor notes, sorrowful and raw. Nothing polished, just pain. Dressed up as tune. His eyes didn't rise. His hands kept working, but the hum grew bolder, like the song wanted to exist again. Just for a moment. He didn't know the dining room had gone quiet. That behind a cracked kitchen door, a man in a tailored jacket paused his bite mid-air. The music producer blinked, fork hovering. Someone was humming, and it wasn't just noise. It was something aching. Back in the kitchen, Adam rinsed another plate. Unaware. Still, humming. Just a dishwasher. Just a melody. But someone was listening, and they weren't supposed to be. He hums a haunting melody unaware someone's listening behind the kitchen doors. "Daddy, what's this?" The cardboard box was caved in, dusty, tucked behind winter coats and a broken fan. But from it, his daughter pulled something sacred, a black acoustic guitar with faded fret marks and one snapped string. Adam knelt down, eyes wide. "That," he whispered, taking it from her hands, "used to be my whole world." He cradled it like a child, brushed his thumb across the wood, where a faded sticker still read, "Nashville Songwriters Showcase, 2004. "Did you play it for Mommy?" she asked, sitting cross-legged on the floor. He nodded slowly, sinking into the carpet beside her. "Every night. That's how we met, actually. I was playing this in a bar she wasn't supposed to be in," she giggled. "She broke the rules. She always did." Silence held them for a second too long. Then she asked, "Why don't you sing anymore?" Adam looked at the guitar, at his hands, now rough from detergent and dish soap instead of chords. "It's just hard now." Her little voice softened. "You still hum sometimes." His jaw clenched, but he smiled. Barely. "You hear that, huh? I like it. It makes you look lighter." He looked at her, really looked. This tiny face that looked so much like her mother's. Her eyes, too wide for her years. He reached over and tucked her hair behind her ear. "One day again," he whispered. "I'll sing for you again. A real song. Not just the ones that sneak out." Her grin was enough to crack his armor. "I'll wait, Daddy." He squeezed the guitar, unsure if his hands even remembered how. He promises her a bedtime song, "One day again." Voice, trembling, white linen, gold-rimmed plates. A string quartet in the corner playing something no one really listened to. The dining room glowed under chandeliers that dripped with crystals. Waiters moved like dancers, polite, invisible. Conversations fluttered about stock options, destination weddings, and which imported wine actually had notes of elderflower. At table 8, a man in his late 40s sat alone, gray beard trimmed, sharp eyes behind subtle glasses. His name was Julian Hart, a record label executive, though no one here recognized him. And he liked it that way. He sipped a glass of still water and looked down at the untouched duck confit. "This doesn't sing," he muttered under his breath. In the back, Adam stacked greasy plates in silence. His apron was soaked, wrists red, steam fogged the corners of his vision. The head chef barked orders. "Pick up on 12. Wipe the rim. It's a damn Michelin reviewer, not your grandma's potluck." Adam said nothing, just rinsed, stacked, and reached for another pan. And then, without thinking, he hummed, just a whisper of tune. A breath carried on rhythm. Same melody from last night, but slower now. Tender. Julian's fork froze mid-air. He leaned slightly. The sound didn't come from the musicians. Not from the speakers either. He turned to the maître d'. Who's singing? The maître d' looked around, confused. Singing? Julian pointed. Back there, in the kitchen. The maître d' offered a polite smile. That? Just the dishwasher, sir. But Julian wasn't smiling. His head tilted, like he was tuning into something buried. And the hum continued. The dishwasher's soft hum stops the producer mid-bite. The kitchen throbbed with heat, motion, and noise. Ladles clanking, timers screaming, pots boiling over. But beneath all that, softer, buried like a thread in fabric, was Adam's voice, still humming. He didn't even notice he was doing it now. The melody wrapped around him like muscle memory, drifting between stacks of plates and soup-stained bowls. It wasn't loud, just there, a kind of ache trying to escape through tune. Julian Hart stood just beyond the swinging door, half hidden by a curtain of steam. He closed his eyes. The sound. It wasn't polished, wasn't clean, but it was true. There was life in that hum. Hurt. Honesty. He turned to the maître d'. Bring him out. Sir? The one humming. I want to meet him. The maître d' shifted uncomfortably. He's, the back of house. Not trained for floor interaction? Julian's jaw tensed. So was Ray Charles once. The maître d' gave a tight-lipped smile and disappeared through the kitchen doors. Inside, Adam caught sight of him approaching. You! The maître d' pointed. Quiet down with the humming, all right? Adam blinked, confused. Was I humming? Don't play dumb. A guest heard you. Management doesn't want distractions. Just do your job. He nodded, embarrassed, throat tight. From the past, the manager leaned toward the maître d'. What did he want? Said someone was singing. Must have been hearing things. The manager chuckled, dismissing it with a wave. Just the dishwasher. Ignore him. Back in the dish pit, Adam dipped his hands back into the water, the last note of his hum dissolving into steam. But Julian hadn't left. He was still listening, and something in his face had shifted. Manager brushes it off, saying, just the dishwasher. Ignore him. Julian sat back in his chair, hands steepled beneath his chin, eyes fixed on the kitchen doors, as if they were about to part like curtains on a stage. But they didn't. No encore, no introduction, no name, just silence again. He reached for his cloth napkin, then paused, and pulled a pen from his blazer instead. On the napkin, he scribbled a single line of melody, what he could remember of it. His producer's ear filled in the rest. The phrasing was imperfect, but the feeling? Intact. It felt like someone trying to say goodbye, and failing. He folded the napkin in half, then reached into his wallet and pulled out a sleek black business card. Minimalist. Just his name, Julian Hart, and a number. He tucked both the card and napkin into a clean dish tray that a waiter was carrying out. Where's this going? Julian asked. Back to the dishwasher station, the waiter replied, puzzled. Perfect. Back in the kitchen, Adam wiped his hands on a rag, reaching for the tray. Tired. Dripping. Automatic. Then he saw it. A napkin, folded once, and inside it, a card. He opened it, heart skipping. Julian Hart, executive producer. Sparrow Records. Private contact. Only his breath caught. He looked around. Was this a joke? Why him? He stared at the card like it burned, then quickly shoved it into the pocket of his apron before anyone could see. The hum was gone. So was the air in the room. Father finds the card, panics, and hides it. The apartment smelled like laundry and leftovers. Faint country music hummed through a neighbor's wall. Outside, sirens faded into the city blur. Inside, Adam sat cross-legged on the floor, guitar in his lap. Untouched for years. The card still sat on the table, like it didn't belong in this world of cracked tiles and second-hand furniture. He ran his fingers over the fretboard. Dust rose in a quiet cloud. How long since you held this thing like you meant it? The answer came not in words, but in pain. the kind that lives in the throat. He strummed once, a flat note. Dead. He adjusted the tuning peg, then another. The guitar creaked, like it remembered him. He plucked a soft chord, then another. From the hallway, small footsteps. Daddy? He turned fast, as if caught doing something forbidden. Maya, his daughter, stood in her pajamas, one sock half off, rubbing her eyes. Were you singing? He froze, then nodded slowly. Just trying. She stepped closer. That was Mommy's song, wasn't it? His voice cracked. Yeah. Maya sat beside him without asking, rested her head on his shoulder. She used to hum it when she brushed my hair, she whispered. Adam smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. She hummed it everywhere. He looked down at his daughter. I don't sound the same anymore. Maya shrugged. You don't have to. He swallowed hard. Why now? She asked. He didn't answer. She glanced at the card on the table, curious. He quickly turned it over. Then she whispered, Mom would want you to sing again. Adam didn't move, but the strings beneath his fingertips started to tremble. She says, Mom would want you to sing again. The next evening, the restaurant buzzed as usual. Laughter, forks clinking, orders shouted over heat. But something felt different in the air. Julian Hart stood in the lobby, dressed down this time. No blazer, no label, just a black hoodie and the same sharp gaze. I want to speak to the dishwasher, he told the manager. The manager blinked. Excuse me, the man who hums. The room fell awkwardly still. Sir, our staff is working. We don't allow. Julian stepped forward. He's got something. You know it. I know it. Let me talk to him. 1 minute. Back in the dish pit, Adam was elbow deep in suds when the manager appeared. Hey, someone's asking for you. Adam wiped his hands on his apron. Who? Says his name's Julian. Music something. Adam's blood ran cold. He'd buried the card, buried the voice, buried that part of him. No idea who that is, he lied, too fast. He said, You were humming? Adam laughed dryly. Radio, maybe. We play jazz sometimes back here. The manager raised a brow. Well, go let him know. He's waiting. Adam hesitated, then untied his apron and stepped out. The lobby was bright, too bright. Julian turned when he saw him. Adam kept his voice steady. You asked for me. Julian studied his face. Yes, you're the voice I heard, aren't you? Adam shook his head. Wasn't me. Probably the radio. A long pause. Julian's eyes didn't blink. That's a shame. Adam nodded. I just wash dishes, sir. He turned back toward the kitchen, heart hammering, leaving the opportunity hanging behind him like a note left unsung. Father denies it's him, says it was just the radio. Yo, listen to this. The busser, Kevin, barely 20, always on his phone, held up a tray in one hand and his phone in the other, on screen. A grainy 15-second video shot through a crack in the kitchen door. Adam's voice floated through it like mist. The caption read, Dishwasher sings like a ghost in the back room. Why isn't he famous? The clip had 42,000 likes in 3 hours. Kevin grinned. Dude, I didn't even know it picked up the audio. I just thought it sounded cool. In the kitchen, Adam froze. Where did you get that? I posted it last night. Didn't tag you? Just the sound. Adam stepped back. You recorded me? Relax, Kevin laughed. You're going viral. Adam's jaw locked. He walked away without another word. But it was too late. That night after Maya had gone to bed, Adam opened the video. 1 million views. Comments stacked like bricks. This voice feels like losing someone in a storm. Who is he? I'd buy this track in a second. Someone find him. Industry's sleeping on this soul. His thumb hovered over the report button, but he didn't press it. He clicked the video again. Listened, he heard himself. Not the broken man scrubbing pans, not the widower still buried in guilt, just a voice. He shut the phone off and sat in the dark. In the restaurant the next day, everyone was whispering. About the dishwasher. About the voice. Even the maître d' was watching him differently now. The clip hits 1M views overnight. The restaurant is buzzing. The phone buzzed once. Twice. Adam ignored it. He was halfway through scrubbing a pan stained with burnt bechamel when Kevin burst into the back room. Phone held high. Dude? Dude? Pick up your phone. Adam didn't look up. I'm working. Kevin tossed him a glance. Julian Hart is trying to reach you. The name landed like a dropped plate. Loud. Sharp. I don't know him. You don't have to. He knows you. Kevin grinned. He just tagged your clip on his story. Said he's looking for the voice in the steam. That's you, man. Adam pulled off his gloves, heart thudding. Walked to the locker. His phone lit up again. Private number calling. He stared at it, then answered. Hello? His voice barely above a whisper. Adam. The voice was calm, clear. This is Julian Hart. Silence. I heard your voice. Twice now. Once in person. Once through a phone screen. Both times. It stopped something in me. I want to meet. Talk. Hear you sing properly. Adam gripped the counter. His knuckles went white. I'm not a singer, he said quietly. Julian paused. You are, even if you don't want to be. Adam looked over at a family eating by the window. Normal, simple, safe. I have a daughter, a job, a life. Then bring your life with you. 1 hour. That's all I ask. The silence between them thickened. Then, click. Adam hung up, set the phone down gently, and went back to the dishes. As if nothing had changed, but everything had. He hangs up, terrified to step into a world he left. The apartment was quiet except for the slow pluck of guitar strings. Adam sat in the glow of the lamp, fingers brushing chords like they were old scars. His eyes weren't on the strings, though. They were somewhere far away. Backstage, Nashville. A night stained into memory. The crowd had been electric. He still remembered the spotlight, how it felt warm on his skin, how the mic smelled faintly of metal and breath. He was alive back then, young, stupid, full of voice, and then, the call. In the middle of a standing ovation, someone had passed him a note. Call home. Now. He had rushed outside, guitar still strapped across his chest, boots slapping pavement as he found a payphone and punched in the number with trembling hands. The nurses. Voice on the other end. Clinical. Cold. She's gone. 3 words. 3 bricks on his, chest. He'd been chasing a label showcase that night. 5 minutes too late for goodbye. He never went back on stage after that, never sang a full song. Never forgave himself. Back in the present, Maya appeared in the doorway, blanket around her shoulders. You're playing that song again, she whispered. He nodded, eyes still on the strings. Was it her favorite? He swallowed hard. She used to hum it when she cooked. Maya sat beside him. She'd want you to play it again. I think she's listening. Adam stared into the dark corner of the room where a baby photo of his wife still sat. He blinked slowly. If I had stayed, he said, voice hoarse, I would have missed her last breath. The strings went still. Maya just held his hand. If I had stayed, I would have missed her last breath. The school auditorium smelled like crayons and coffee. Parents murmured softly, clutching their phones. Folding chairs creaked. Fluorescent lights buzzed above faded banners that read, Spring Celebration. Adam sat in the 3rd row, knees bouncing, hands clenched. He hadn't wanted to come. Crowds made him nervous now, especially crowds with microphones. But Maya had begged. Just stay till the end, she'd whispered. He nodded, and then she walked on stage. Tiny, alone. Her name appeared on the projector. Maya Ellis. My Mama's song, acoustic. Adam's breath caught. She lifted the school's dented guitar and strummed it once. Not perfectly. Her fingers fumbled a little, but the melody was unmistakable. His melody. The one he wrote in a Tennessee hotel room the week after Maya was born. She looked up, found him in the crowd, and smiled. Then she began to sing. Her voice was soft, unsure at first, but it grew stronger with each line, like her mother's hands pushing her forward. Adam's vision blurred. Around him, other parents smiled politely. Some whispered how sweet the song was, but to him it was an echo, a mirror, a door opening that he'd welded shut. When she hit the final note, she whispered the last lyric like a prayer. "I'll carry your song when you can't." Silence. Then applause. Adam stood slowly, clapped once, twice, then more. Tears rolled down his face, quiet, proud, broken tears. Maya bowed, cheeks red. Back in the car, neither of them spoke, but when they pulled into the driveway, Adam reached for his phone. He scrolled to Julian Hart's number, paused, then hit call. It rang once, twice. Julian Hart. Adam took a breath. "Let's talk." He claps, tears in eyes, and calls the producer back. The recording studio didn't hum like he remembered. It buzzed. LED strips lined the floors. Acoustic foam swallowed sound. Screens blinked with waveforms and vocal layers. There was no dust, no steam. Only silence, waiting to be filled. Julian met him at the door. "You made it!" Adam nodded, guitar case in hand, eyes wide. A young vocal coach appeared, clipboard tucked under her arm. "This him?" Julian smiled, the dishwasher with the storm in his throat. They ushered him into the booth. Adam stood in front of the mic. He stared through the glass at strangers with headsets and laptops. Engineers, producers, people half his age. The headphones felt foreign. He strummed once. His hands shook. "Okay, Adam," the coach's voice crackled through the speakers. "Let's warm up. A simple run on A-flat," he tried. Missed, again. Off key. She clicked her pen, frowning. "Let's try something more. Within range." Julian watched quietly from the back. But Adam saw it. The tilt of the head. The sighs. The silent judgment. The growing sense that maybe he didn't belong here. "Let's take 5, the coach said finally. Adam set the guitar down. Left the booth. "Where you going?" Julian called after him. Adam didn't stop. Just grabbed his coat and kept walking. At the door, he looked back once. At the lights, the foam, the mic. Then he whispered to himself, "I don't belong here," and left. The soundproof door shut behind him, but inside, the guitar still rang softly in the booth, the last note refusing to fade. He walks out, whispering, "I don't belong here." The hiss of hot water welcomed him back like nothing had changed. Same cracked tiles, same flickering light above the sink, same mountain of plates, bowls, and burned pans. Adam stood there in his apron, same as before. Sleeves rolled, gloves on, head bowed. Only difference was the silence. No humming tonight. No whisper of melody. Just work, just water. The clip that once echoed through TikTok had faded from trending. Other voices, younger voices, filled the feed now. Flashy edits, viral duets, fast fame. But Adam had no interest in chasing a world that didn't wait for him. A fork clattered into the tray beside him. Kevin dropped it in, half sheepish. "You okay, man?" Adam nodded. "Fine. You ever gonna sing again?" Adam didn't answer. Kevin rubbed the back of his neck. "People still ask. That clip changed something, you know. Even for us. You made this place feel different." Adam offered the faintest smile. "Then maybe it's better I stop." Outside, the dinner rush thickened. Orders rang out. Laughter drifted through the kitchen doors like perfume. Adam reached for the next dish. Scrubbed, stacked, repeat, and then... The kitchen door swung open. Heads turned. The manager frowned. "Sir, you can't be back here." Julian Hart stepped into the steam, ignoring the protest. He walked straight toward Adam. "You left before I could explain," Julian said, breathless. Adam didn't look up. "I figured I got the message." Julian placed a small flash drive on the cleanest part of the counter. "Play this. Just once. Then decide." He turned and walked out. Adam stared at the drive. Didn't touch it, but didn't throw it away either. Producer shows up at the restaurant. This time, not for food, Adam sat alone in the studio booth. No engineers, no vocal coach, just Julian behind the glass and a mic standing quietly in front of him. He hadn't brought his guitar, he hadn't even asked what song. He just said, "One take. My way. If it works, fine. If not, we're done," Julian agreed. No pressure, just truth. Adam closed his eyes. The booth light dimmed to a soft amber. His fingers tapped once against his knee. The tempo of the old rhythm, the one he used to hum when Maya was sick, when his wife had stood over the sink crying, when he'd washed dishes to stay grounded. And then he sang, no warm-up, no filter, no polish. His voice cracked on the first line. He didn't stop. It dipped, stumbled, found breath, then climbed again, full of gravel and grief and something you can't auto-tune. History. I buried my voice beneath the weight of the world, but it clawed through the dirt just to say I'm still here. Julian leaned forward slowly, hands pressed to the console. Adam's eyes stayed closed. If pain is a note, then I've sung everyone. But she hummed me to sleep when the words wouldn't come. The last chord held longer than expected. Then, silence. Adam opened his eyes. Julian didn't say a word, just nodded once, like he was afraid any sound might ruin the moment. Adam stepped out of the booth. Breath shallow. That's all I've got, he said. Julian whispered back, it's everything. The recording captures something. Real, unpolished, haunting. The upload was quiet. No press release. No announcement. Just a title. Steam song, one take. Ellis no photo. No fanfare. Just a voice. Julian posted it to his labels page with a caption. Sometimes you find a diamond in the dishwater. Within hours, the comments poured in. Rawest thing I've heard all year. No auto-tune. No ego. Just soul. Who is this man? I need more. In a diner 3 towns away, a waitress clicked play on her break. By midnight, it made Spotify's emerging voices list. The streams ticked past 100,000 before dawn. At school, Maya pulled out her phone. She played the track at lunch for her friends. They stared at her wide-eyed. That's your dad? She smiled. That's my dad. Back at the restaurant, Kevin leaned against the sink with his earbuds in. He recognized every note. Boss, he called out to the manager. You hearing this? The manager blinked. Wait, that's Adam? Kevin nodded, grinning. Told you he wasn't just a dishwasher. Meanwhile, Adam rode home in a beat-up yellow cab. The driver flicked on the radio. A low voice filled the car. Cracked. Familiar, trembling. But she hummed me to sleep when the words wouldn't come. Adam froze. The driver tapped the steering wheel. Man, I love this guy. Came out of nowhere, huh? Adam didn't answer. He just looked out the window, the city lights blurring past, and for the first time in years, he smiled. Not big, but real. He hears his voice in a cab radio and smiles for the first time in years. The apartment was dim and warm. Rain tapping gently against the window like a metronome. Maya lay curled under her blanket, eyes heavy, her favorite stuffed bear tucked under one arm. Adam sat at the edge of her bed, guitar across his lap, no stage, no lights, just the quiet hum of home. He strummed once, the same melody, soft, familiar. She smiled without opening her eyes. That's the one, he nodded. Your mom's song. He adjusted the tuning peg, leaned in and began to sing. Not for a label, not for Spotify, just for her. His voice was lower now, wiser. It wavered on the higher notes, but held strong in the center where love lived. You carry the parts I thought I lost. You hum what I forgot. How to say, in the silence, you remind me that I'm still music anyway. Maya's breaths slowed. She was already drifting. Adam paused at the final line, the one he hadn't sung in years. He whispered it, barely audible. And when you hear me sing, know I'm home. He brushed her hair back. kissed her forehead. Outside, the rain fell in rhythm with the strings. He placed the guitar gently in the corner, not hidden this time, visible, waiting, then turned off the light. As he left her room, her tiny voice called out half asleep. "Daddy?" He turned. "That was your best one." He smiled. "Yours always are." He closed the door softly. His voice echoed faintly in the hallway. No longer behind walls, no longer behind dishes, just free, on her sleeping as his voice echoes, no longer behind closed doors,